Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to the ACE Performance Training Podcast, episode 20. Today, we have a very special guest, Professor Todd Shaffer, Tom DeBlas Black Belt. Welcome and thank you for being here today. Todd also does a lot of media managing for BJJ Fanatics, and he is a partial instructor at Leverage BJJ in Ohio. So, welcome.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
So I'm so excited to have you today. I didn't even realize how many hats you wore in the community. So I'm actually very excited to kind of like learn about your journey and what brought you to where you are today. You were one of the first affiliates with Tom, so this is just really cool, and I'd love for you to take it away.
Sure. So I started BJJ 2008. I was in my mid 30s, and I had suffered a back injury trying to get myself in better shape. I wasn't doing it right, and I ended up blowing out a couple discs in my lower back. And I had always wanted to do martial arts, and there was no BJJ at that time anywhere near me. So I chose the next best thing, Taekwondo, which actually wasn't the next best thing. I spent about 3 years trying to perfect my scorpion kick, which didn't help my back. A good friend of mine, Bill Jones, who owns a school near Cleveland, Ohio, in Cuyahoga Falls. We had worked together, and he was a blue belt at the time, and he was a lifelong martial artist, and he had discovered jiu-jitsu, and he was a blue belt. He invited me to a class, and for the first time in about 3 years, I did this class, fell in love with it, and my back felt great. And I think it was like all the core work and all the warm-up and all that jazz, and it wasn't scorpion kicks, so I think my back appreciated it.
Yeah.
So that sort of planted a seed, and I told my wife, if there's ever a BJJ school anywhere near me, I'm going to sign up. And one day she was driving home, and she saw at the local gymnastics place there was a 30-day BJJ class. Immediately signed up, ended up meeting a local MMA fighter who taught the class, and just got me further hooked, led to my first school, where we were under Master Pedro Sauer, and I got my blue belt from Pedro Sauer, and eventually through work, where I was located, some different things, I ended up taking a Shanji Hibero seminar.
Nice.
A friend of mine had invited me, and I was just like blown away by Shanji, blown away by how nice he was. And the local Hibero affiliate was great. And he was right next to my job. So I was able to sneak away at lunchtime, take classes. So I was kind of bouncing between gyms a little bit until I made a full transition. And I spent about 4 years with the Hibero Association, which was amazing. I give Solo and Shanji a lot of credit for where I ended up in terms of like social media and stuff like that. Eventually, my current instructor, Rob Heilman, he had started around the same time at the first gym, and he had left to do other things and eventually started his own academy, Leverage BJJ. And so after about a year of him having his academy, we sort of came back together, and
Nice.
and I joined Leverage, and I've been there for 9 years. So I've got I guess it's about 15 years under my belt now.
Nice.
After about 3 years, 2 to 3 years at Leverage, I met Tom DeBlas, quickly became one of the most important people in my life. And I took a group of our students to New Jersey to train with him. And on the way back, Tom messaged me and asked if Rob would become his first affiliate.
That's
And
amazing.
so Yeah. So Rob thought about it for a little bit, weighed the pros and cons, and there really weren't any cons. So he made the leap. He made the leap in 2016, and we're currently on our 7th year with Tom. And we just had him out this week for a fantastic jam-packed seminar. Um, uh, Tom's in the. I've probably been to 25 plus seminars with Tom, and
Nice.
this one was like seeing the Rolling Stones in their prime. Just a lot of like greatest hits, I call them. Things that you go to Tom for, whether it's mindset, technique. He had it perfectly blended, jam packed 2 hours. Nobody was bored. Nobody was not laughing. It's a mix of a comedy show, a seminar, and a motivational event. So it's all of those things. So we had a great time, and it's always awesome to see them.
That's so amazing. So when did you receive your black belt under Tom, or was it Rob or Tom? How did that work? Like,
It's under Tom. Rob's I guess you would say it, my local main instructor. Tom gave me my black belt in 29 in spring of 2019. So
beautiful.
I just celebrated 4 years.
Yay, that's awesome.
Yeah,
So
I
Tom,
got. I'm sorry. I was just going to say I got my first stripe last year,
I
so
was about to ask you,
2022.
because it's not every 3 years, right, that you get a stripe.
Yeah, it's the first few. I think it's 3 or 4 or 3 years, and then they jack it up to 5 years. So
Makes
hopefully
sense.
I'll still be around for that.
Oh, you will, you will. So
I'm
tell me a
getting
little
old.
bit of, oh,
Right.
trust me. Tell me a little bit about your BJJ Fanatics work too.
So back in I had done to kind of back up a little bit. Um, Solo back in probably 2013, 2012 ish. Solo was coming to town for a seminar, and I don't remember the memes that I was looking at the time. I can't Nothing really stands out, but I started making these memes to kind of post in our affiliation group to kind of pump up his seminar, and he really liked them. And when he came, I want to say it was probably the second time, I got my purple belt from Salo, and he actually asked me to help with the Hibero Association website.
Okay.
So that was the first, like, I guess, world class grappling person that noticed, like, my memes and the things I did for social media. So that gave me an instant boost, and through that I got to work with Rafael Lovato on some early projects he was doing. He was kind of ahead of his time. He was sort of a BJJ Fanatics before Fanatics existed. Um, Really great instructionals, a lot of good social media content, and that helped me build some skills. I ended up going to Jiu Jitsu Times and doing their Instagram for a number of years.
Nice.
We grew that, hundreds and hundreds of thousands, and I was basically just churning out meme after meme. Um, I also helped start a site called White Belt BJJ. I worked with Origin on their BJJ Weekly. I
Nice.
worked with I worked with BJJ Video Vault. Um, I'm sure I'm missing somebody, but yeah. So in 2017, I answered an ad for a blogger position, and it turned out I started getting emailing Michael Zenga back and forth, and I didn't know who the heck Michael Zenga was. But he hired me as a blogger, and there were only two of us. I think I was probably the fifth, sixth, maybe seventh employee they had hired, and over time, I offered to do the social media, so I started the Instagram for Fanatics,
Nice.
and now we have BJJ Fanatics Dynamic Striking, which is more MMA. We have Fanatic Wrestling. We have Strong and Fit, which is fitness and strength and conditioning. We have Effective Basketball. We have Effective Self-Defense. We even have a law fanatics, which I
Wow.
don't know anything about, nor nor do I know anything funny about lawyers. What else? We have pickleball, and there's more to come. I think they're looking to get into fishing, because one of our guys is a avid fisherman guy, Aaron Benzraham. He has some products on Fanatics, and he's sort of the manager behind the scenes of everything. But so I do the social media. I work with blogs. I work with YouTube from a Fanatics perspective, and do some stuff behind the scenes for the product. So I have my hands in a lot of different stuff, and it's been fantastic. Bernardo and Mike, and there's another Mike. They're the owners. They're easily the best bosses I've ever had in my life.
That's so amazing. He seems like such a nice person, Bernardo.
Everything you think of him, he's probably nicer.
That's awesome.
Yeah. You wouldn't know it watching his competitive career, but he's phenomenally nice.
No, he seems like a super nice guy. Cool to do so many. I didn't even realize you did so many different things for the community. That's so cool.
Yeah, I've been around a little bit.
That's a lot. And so like, yeah, I mean, because trust me, I see it all the time. Or just earlier I was scrolling and Fanatics Wrestling came up for this sick takedown. And so that's all you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. And then you said you also do some work for Lovato?
Yeah. This about maybe a year, I guess it's going on 2 years. He started a new project called Timeless Jiu-Jitsu, and he actually reached out to me, which blew my mind. Like, I still don't realize. I still get shocked that I get to talk to these guys, because I'm a little starstruck sometimes. But he reached out to me and asked me if I would help him with the social media and some behind the scenes stuff. And of course, I jumped on, because I was lucky enough to visit his school a couple times. And the first time I ever came, he introduced class, and he said, and we have a special guest, the meme master, Todd Shaffer. And I'll never forget it. Like, it just I make these goofy pictures, and these guys that I look up to, they appreciate them, so that's cool.
That's so amazing. So you've done so much in the community, and obviously kind of getting back to like your personal story about your back. How is that, because obviously I have herniations myself, and I feel like staying mobile is better, than not. So do you feel like jujitsu really helped you in that regards?
100%. I would say jujitsu was probably 51%, and chiropractic was 49%. So the combo of the two, just building a better core infrastructure through jujitsu, and constant maintenance with chiropractic, keeping me in line and making adjustments, and jujitsu helping with learning to move ways that you maybe aren't intuitive, but are better for your body.
Yes.
And just, I don't know, it's just it's been great, and I couldn't imagine my life without either one of them, honestly.
So true. And like, if you don't mind my asking, obviously this is your obviously kind of career now is all jujitsu, but before jujitsu, what did you do?
So I had a corporate career for about 20 years. I worked in marketing. I worked for a company that basically did inbound and outbound calling for other companies. So again, I wore a lot of hats, a lot of sales experience, and then my most recent corporate job, I was selling educational technology to the government.
Okay.
So just classroom tools to help them make their training and their education and their meetings more effective and more engaging for the audience. So I did both of those things for a combined probably 20 years. And when COVID hit and sent us all home, I had been working with Fanatics for about 4 years as sort of this side gig. And I was so busy and I loved doing that I was kind of phoning it in with the corporate job. And I was getting by, but we had gotten bought out and they were taking the company in another direction. And I saw a lot of people better than me getting fired, as corporations tend to do sometimes when change is happening. So I kind of saw the writing on the wall, and I had grown Fanatics enough that I just decided to take the leap and work solely with them. And so since June of 2022, I haven't had to put on dress pants. So
That's so nice.
it is.
Yeah, especially you doing what you love, right? So that's
Yeah,
like
yeah, for
that's
sure, for sure. It's fun. I never. I have bosses that are there if I need them, but they never bother me. I don't have a ton of useless meetings. I'm not trying to sell a product I don't believe in. Um, it's just I'm very, very lucky. I feel kind of retired, to be honest.
yeah, but yet you're still like, that's great to find something that you enjoy and you're still making income. And it seems like your prior career was a good prerequisite to kind of float you into this role, right?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I didn't. I enjoyed it, and mainly because of the people I worked with. I didn't love it, and I think if I could give anybody a message, if you get that opportunity to do something you love, even if it's for slightly less money, please do it.
Yes.
Uh, because what will happen is you'll be so happy that you'll end up making more money somehow. And the money comes if you really love what you're doing. And so um, in addition to those things, I also teach part-time at Leverage. So all of those things, like, really, I just really enjoy. They're not really jobs.
It's just like you're earning income through an enjoyed task, which is a beautiful thing.
For sure. It's something I would be doing anyway, even if I wasn't getting paid. So that's the beauty of it.
And how many days a week do you instruct over at Leverage?
I teach 3 classes on 2 separate days.
Nice, nice.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
how do you enjoy being an instructor?
I enjoy it. I've been doing it for when I first started Leverage, Rob was closed on Sundays, and my previous gym had a Sunday class, and there was just something I loved about Sundays because it's a day where, for the most part, nobody's in a rush
Yep.
and nobody's squeezing jujitsu in. Like, for many people, that's the biggest thing they were doing that day. So I started a class and I kind of made it different. Most of our classes are an hour long. I scheduled a 2 hour period where essentially I teach for an hour, and then we have this built in hour where we train or do whatever. And we're usually there for like 3 hours. People are just hanging out, shooting the breeze, training, drilling, whatever. But I started that right after I started, so around 2015. So I've been teaching steadily since for I guess 8 years, and it's still something I'm getting better at. It's like anything else. I always tell people, um, when if you're a totally a gi playing jujitsu player, maybe your leg locks are white belt level, and you just got to develop them to match your current level. Um, you could be a black belt, and when you teach your first class, you're technically a white belt at teaching, and
So true.
it's something that you have to practice. Uh, I try to tell the students all the time, doing jujitsu is hard, teaching it is harder, but it's so much fun, and
Yes.
so rewarding. And when you find your groove, um, I don't know. There's just something vicarious that a thrill I get when I get to give someone a stripe and or a belt or whatever, after they've put in the work and it's starting to click for them. It's way more important than my stuff, like my belts, my journey. Um, so that it's fun. It's
I
fun. I
fully,
enjoy it.
I fully understand and agree with that sentiment. You know, when you choose to teach people, it's like you get your joy through watching them grow and succeed on and off the mats too, because you see
For
what
sure.
you see what jujitsu does for them, as like off the mats too, and you see them transform as people.
Yeah, yeah.
It's,
And I mean, it teaches you so much about people and about yourself, and just it gives you a chance, like it gives you a chance to look back on the belts and realize like how you kind of rushed yourself in your mind, and you couldn't wait to get to the next belt, and I don't know. And the longer I do it, the faster time flies. Like I can't believe I've been a black belt for 4 years. Um, it's just literally a blink of an eye.
it's crazy. And time does move faster as we get older too. So it really will just fly by.
Yeah, yeah. It's a shame. So I try to do a lot of stuff. Like in my classes recently, I've really tried to slow down and not try to jam pack it with information, but like look at things from different perspectives. And I tell our students all the time, when I got my black belt, man, it was the weirdest feeling, but I just felt this sense of, well, I'm starting over, and all the stuff I had on my checklist that I felt like I had achieved. Oh, triangle, check. Armbar, check. Now it was like, wow, now I got to really go back and learn it, because there's just so much to know that you can never know it all. Um, but that's the fun of it, honestly.
That's so true because everyone's body type and biomechanical reactions are going to be different. You know, you may get someone present you with a reaction you never expected, and then you have to figure that out. And so it's like you're forever learning, which is so beautiful.
And not to mention their reactions and their body types, but your own reactions and body types change over time. You
Yes.
know, as you're working through injuries, you're working through just getting older. You've got to adapt your game, and that was never going to happen with my scorpion kick at Taekwondo.
It's so true. I mean, it's like even me, I trained through all 4 pregnancies and I had to completely change my game to just frames only, right? Like protecting this. And then now I'm not. And now I'm like, oh crap, now I have to completely change my style. So it's totally cool and fun. And that's why I feel like you can never really get bored with it if you truly understand the art of it and enjoy that process.
Yeah, you just have to have fun. You can't take yourself or jujitsu too seriously.
Just like life, right?
Hmm. For sure, for sure.
So for what do you have your plans in terms of, like, do you have any just other than everything you're already doing and your academy, do you like have students who go compete? Do you guys go coach them and all that as well?
Yeah. I Rob is the owner and the head instructor, and we have I think it's about 12 Tom black belts now at our school. Rob does a great job with the competitors. That you should have Rob on one day. Because he's got a great story. He's got a bunch of great stories. He hadn't really competed that much prior to meeting Tom, and after we went with Tom inspired him. He did several fight to wins.
Nice.
He had a fight of the night at Fight to Win. Um, just an amazing story, and he's not a young man either. He's just turned 41. He's actually the day after Tom's birthday is Rob's birthday.
Nice.
But yeah, he does an amazing job. We've had a master's level world silver medalist. We have local grappling industries tournaments. Our team does very, very well. We've got tons and tons of gold medals. Rob and the team do a great job. I'm not as much into or I'm not as much involved. I should be a little more involved in the competitive side. But it's not so. I started too late, and in my opinion, I still might have a competition in me someday, but who knows?
It's kind of scary with the because I have a herniated disc, and that's the reason I'm kind of like I want to compete, but I'm also kind of nervous.
I competed. My last competition was a few years ago. It was a black belt competition. I was still a brown belt, so it was actually more than 4 years ago, at least. And I find that at my age, I just turned 51. At my age, every time I say I'm going to do a tournament, the increase in training that I do, the increase in everything else, I end up getting injured. and I got injured the last time, and I went through with the competition, but I had a weird hip issue that basically ruined my half guard and my straight ankle locks, which I love. And so anyway, I'm at the point that if I feel like if I injure myself, I have to be okay with it lasting the rest of my life, because I don't recover like I used to. So I'm just, if I fight through an arm bar too long, I hurt myself for a week.
Yep.
And so I've just learned to train smarter and
yes.
let go of the ego and
tap off and tap early.
yeah. I'm not trying to be a world beater, to be honest. I just want to have fun, and I just want to Tom just gave the second degree to one of our students who's a 71-year-old second degree Tom DeBlas black belt, Steve Silamos. And I want to get to that age. I want to get to that age and still be training.
It's so true. I remember a friend Gina used to tell me, you want to train rest of your life, you got to train like you want to train rest of your life, and I was like, he's right.
For sure.
Right.
For sure.
That's so amazing.
Let these young guys break themselves. I'm not going to.
I see it like some of our 20-year-old students. They're like, I'm just like, that's you guys. Like I'm gonna be over here just watching, living vicariously through you.
For sure. They're amazing, and they heal up. They bounce back. We have guys that they'll injure their knee or something, and they bounce back. But I feel like if I'm at the point where if I open a cereal box the wrong way, I can blow out my back. and it's just where I am. So I, I need to be very, very, very careful.
I feel you on that. It's one of those things. Even though I'm only 30, I've put my body through the ringer. Unfortunately, very, very early. I did a lot. I kind of compacted a lot in a very short amount of time, and my body feels it now. So
Yeah, I think I was opposite. I didn't do enough until I started doing stuff in my 30s, and then I had to kind of build the infrastructure, and now I'm super protective of it because my deep down in my head, a back injury got me into jujitsu, so I've always felt a back injury could take me out, and I don't want that to happen. So
yes.
I'm very careful with the kind of takedowns that I work. I'm very careful. Like I don't have many takedown. I don't I don't train a lot of takedowns where I'm slamming on the ground. I don't have that many in the bank, and I'm saving them for a rainy day. Let's just put it that way.
That makes total sense. I was actually going to ask you, that was one of my questions is what is your like, would you say for yourself right now in your current jujitsu stage, your go-to high percentage submission?
Submission wise, I'm a huge fan of stuff from side control.
Okay.
Um, I do some stuff. Um, I've always enjoyed side control. I do some stuff to make it really miserable on my partner or my opponent, and once I'm able to secure the position, I usually don't have that much trouble getting. I go for the far arm a lot. Um,
Nice.
I've got a couple things. I've got a sneaky little tricep slicer
Ooh.
that a lot of my students have stolen from me and try to use on me all the time. And uh, from that, I get a lot of Americanas, a lot of head and arm triangles based on the reaction to that setup. So I would say that's my go-to. Um, I like I like a lot of half guard stuff, and I like sneaky chokes, like baseball bat chokes.
Yes.
I like straight ankles. Those would be like my top three.
Nice.
Side control, arm attacks, uh, baseball bat chokes, and straight ankles would be my favorites.
That's awesome. And obviously that's developed like over the years. Maybe some years was one thing and then your game kind of changes throughout the years and you kind of find what works for you in your current physical and mental and state and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say as an older guy, I naturally gravitated to half guard, and being with Tom has helped me take that what my pseudo defensive half guard and make it like much
Weaponized.
more, yeah, much more weaponized. That's a great word. That's a great word. Yeah, yeah. He definitely does that.
And then for you, what would you say? Because I get this a lot. Like, I'm in a community where not many people know what jujitsu is, right? And they'll be like, "Oh, am I too old to start, or am I, too injured to start, and things like that?" And I'm always like, "No, like, absolutely not." I looked at jujitsu grandma. She started when she was what, in her 50s or something,
Yeah,
60s.
yeah, yeah. So what's your question?
So the question is, what do you feel like what do you feel like it does for you mentally as well as physically at your time in life right now?
um I would say I would say nothing upsets me like it used to. Like pre jujitsu, you just fly off the handle at the dumbest thing. Like, oh, the bank's closed and I need to deposit this check. Now it's like, oh well, I'll do it tomorrow. So it's like I think it creates a little bit of a buffer from the nonsense of the world. Um, and this might be cliche, but I always go back to the movie Fight Club, where they talked about once you join Fight Club, the volume of the world gets turned down,
Yes.
And it's like you just I would go to class, and then I would walk out after being beat up, and I just say, like, what can my boss, what can my coworkers, what stress can anyone cause me? Like, my hobby is people trying to kill me.
Yes.
So it's like it gives you a natural sense of a real sense of perspective. Um, it you at the way you asked it, you said, like, right now, what does it do for me? Um, Jiu-jitsu for me is my social network. Like, all of my friends are in jiu-jitsu. All of the people I talk to are in jiu-jitsu. So it's created this sort of tribe of people that I talk to. And instead of going to the bar and socializing, I socialize at class.
Yes.
Those are the people I want to be around. And it's cool because it's people without jujitsu we might have never crossed paths. So I'm rolling with people who are artists, police officers, doctors, chiropractors, nurses, all sorts of things. And it's cool because we have this all in common. And and I think as you get older, jujitsu is important because I see a lot of older people kind of going downhill when they start to lose a sense of purpose.
Yes.
And when your kids are grown or you're done with your job, um, I think having a project like jujitsu that's never ending is going to keep your mind sharp and keep you trying to do different things. We had some folks at the seminar, at Tom's seminar, and I don't want to speak out of turn, but they I'm 51. I think there were a few people older. Steve's 71, just got his second degree. Like, I think that's a wonderful thing for the different generations to share this martial art.
It's so true. It's so true. I do love that you could see, like, sometimes on the mat, like a 16-year-old and a 60-year-old having a good time together because of the
Yeah,
art.
yeah, for sure. It's a blast, and it's nice. It's nice when you see, like, when you see a younger person training with Steve and he catches them in a wrist lock, and it's like you just got wrist locked by a 71-year-old man. Like, there's something very important about that. There's a lesson there. Like,
Yeah.
he has a way. He has a famous saying that he says all the time when he catches you. Uh, he just says, "Don't f up, don't f up." But he says the real word. So
That's so funny.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
caught you slipping.
yeah. Don't blink. The old man will break your wrists.
That's so great. I love that. And see, and that's the one thing I think is cool about jujitsu is no matter when you start in life, if you stick with it and continue into your later years, then you can hold your own at least against a young assailant, let's say, or something like that. You actually are going to be better off than a majority of everybody else out there, you
For
know?
sure, for sure. I'd love to know some stats, but it would be hard to compile them.
Right?
But just just being 71 years old, somebody thinks, oh, this is going to be an easy robbery, or I'm going to steal this guy's purse is a bad example, but
His
I'm
fanny
going to
pack.
steal. Yeah, I'm going to steal this old man's fanny pack. You're going to remember, Steve, every time it rains because your wrist is going to hurt from the arthritis he gives you as he breaks your wrist.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man, it looks like a beautiful day over there. It's all sunny and
Yeah, where I'm at, we probably get fewer sunny days than Seattle, so I'm trying to be out here enjoying it a little bit. We only get 50 or 60 sunny days. We're cloudy a lot of the time, so it's really nice today, nice and hot. I think it says it's only 78, but it's kind of humid.
Oh, that's nice. And so tomorrow you got your Sunday service, right? Jiu-jitsu
Yeah,
Sunday service.
Sunday class with Pastor Todd.
That's awesome. I love it. That's why I do my open mats on Sundays up here, because it's just
Yeah,
I
mine has the feel of an open mat. Like it's a mix. It's a hybrid for sure.
yeah, I normally will stick about a 2 hour, and I just feel like that's when we work on things. It's like the workshop. Like, all right,
For
so
sure.
I love that.
For
Well,
sure. It's fun.
this has been so awesome. I am so excited to hear all about you. I didn't, like I said, it was one of those things I had no idea you wear so many hats, and I'm glad to have everybody else know all the cool things you do for our community. And thank you for that,
Awesome.
because I mean, I'll tell you, I enjoy it very much, seeing the memes and all of the pages you've created. They've been very helpful for people like me and my students. It's really awesome what you're doing
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah. It started as my experience and kind of like how I felt after most classes. And I've actually had people reach out to me. I had a good friend that moved away, and he never had anything. He never knew me before jujitsu, or I mean, I only knew him prior to jujitsu. And one day he messaged me out of the blue, and he said, "I just signed up my whole family because of your memes." And his kids went on to be like really good competitors. They're in college now. They're athletes and stuff, so they're not training as much. But that was huge. That was huge to me. That meant more than anything.
Well, it always does feel good to know that what you do makes a difference. And I'll
For sure.
definitely say that everything you do makes a huge difference in our community.
Awesome. I appreciate
so,
it. I
so
appreciate it.
thank you so much. And
Th-
hopefully I can come out and visit sometime during one of my trips over there. You know,
anytime. We're open 7 days a week. So just let us know.
I'll make sure to swing by for a Sunday service.
Awesome. That would be great. That would be great.
Oh, well, everybody, thank you again, Professor. This has been amazing. And I look forward to chatting more on the affiliate chat and seeing
Awesome.
you when I swing through.
Awesome. Awesome. Take advantage of the Fanatic sale. Only a couple more days, 47%.
Ooh, that's going on. When does it end?
Probably the what's Memorial Day? Monday, probably Tuesday.
Okay.
Code is Memorial 2023. Put it in checkout and get everything for 47% off.
You hear that, everybody? Thank you so much. That's awesome. Get your instructionals while they're on sale. That's a great discount.
For sure. For sure.
Well, I hope that you have an incredibly blessed day. Thank you again so much for everything. And I hope everybody have a good day, and everybody train jiu-jitsu.
All right. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.